What's up? What's up? What's up? All right. Hey guys, what's happening? I have an important topic I want to share with you guys this evening. So come on in the house, join us. We're going to get rocking and rolling. Just waiting a second for everybody to get on so we can talk about this very pertinent and important information. All right. As everyone starts to join, I'm going to give you a few minutes. Listen, as you're coming on, because some of you will be seeing this in our on demand, I want to remind you, first of all, that we are in constant development in our app, and we're doing a lot of changes. I want you to stay updated. Keep tuning in to the app. You know that we're doing the twice a week live on Tuesday and on Thursday. But in addition to that, I want you to know that there are other things that are happening. For instance, we're starting scrolling on our front page. So as you tune in, you're going to see updates continuously. Hey, how you doing, Kathy St. John? Twyla Martin. Oh, Twyla, thank you so much. I appreciate that comment. You give me hope. That's what we want to do. We want to inspire people with hope. We want to let you know that it's not all bad. It's not hopeless. Listen, let me share you something with you while we're waiting. This ain't even what I'm talking about, but we're going to be dispelling some myths. We're going to be hopefully shifting some paradigms and getting people to understand that love is possible and that relationships are good and that marriage can be good again and dating can be healthy and that people actually still do fall in love or grow in love, like I like to say it. People still do that. So we're going to be talking as we move forward about more and more, and we're going to be bringing on some other experts, some great friends of mine who are going to be joining in, some professionals, clinical psychologists, sex therapists, etc. And they're going to be presenting to you also as we move forward into the future. But I just want you to know right now that if you're on the app, please continue to peruse through it. On the front page where you see the scrolling, put in upload something, upload a message. Let us know how you're doing. Upload a photograph, a picture, or something. Give me an event that you've just attended or something that's just happened in your world. And it's going to be awesome, okay? So I love it. Hopefully you guys are getting the notifications. I know we're sending them out. I know I received one, and I'm doing the live. So hopefully you're receiving your notifications. They are going out. And you're joining us. So thank you for joining us. All right, great. You ready to get started? Are you ready to jump right in and rock and roll? I hope you are, because we're going to do this. All right, Twyla and Kathy and others who are joining us but are not saying anything, let me know where you're from. Guest Edwards, how you doing there? How you doing? Good to see you. Okay, great. Let's jump right in. And listen, let me say this. I want you to start inviting men. We're going to be doing something very special for men in our app. And I'll give you more info as we develop and move along with it. But we're going to be really trying to join, gain the interest of men, because I'm finding that in a lot of apps, what you have are a lot of women. We don't want that to be the case, because there are good men out there. We want to do what we can to attract them to this wonderful, wonderful product that we have here. Okay. So last Tuesday, we talked about psychological abuse. We talked about it in the way of gaslighting. And tonight we're going to take it a little further, okay? We're going to talk about love bombing. Now, disclaimer, caveat, whatever you want to call it. Here's the deal. And as you come in, please just say hello and tell me where you're from and go ahead and let's start commenting. Every armchair psychologists online, on IG, wherever, they all have these ideas. Hey, Wendy, they all have these ideas, all these psychobabble, what I call it, comments about, what a certain behavior is, what a certain condition is. And I want to warn you, and I want to just caution you. Unless you actually are a PhD, a licensed clinical relationship coach, relationship counselor, you've been doing it for a while, et cetera, don't throw around terms diagnosing people, okay? I've heard so many people call someone a narcissist. Narcissism is a valid psychological disorder. It's something that you diagnose. It's a clinical condition. And so we have to be very careful when we throw around these ideas, or you're a narcissist, or you suffer from OCD, you have tendencies of schizophrenia, or now the attachment styles. So every chance we get to find some way to label someone, we do it. I want to caution you against that. Even when we're talking about gaslighting, I'm sharing it with you because I know that it's something that people do, and I know that some of us have been victims of it. Basically, it's just bad communication and playing mind games, okay? And tonight is no different. When we talk about love bombing, everybody's not love bombing. As a matter of fact, when I share with you the definition of love bombing, and I show you some examples of it, I will bet you some of you guys like me, you'll be like, hey, I want to be love bombed. It don't sound terrible, okay? But remember, everything that happens, it's all about intent. Is there an intent to control? Is there an intent to deceive? All right? Now, I first had a chance to speak on love bombing when I went online on a very popular podcast, and I spoke to someone from the show Vanderpump Rules, I think it was. And I spoke to someone about love bombing, and she'd gone through something or another. I don't know what it was. And when I did my research for the show, I found out that, where love bombing came from. Did you know that love bombing actually, even though we are just hearing it now in the last, 3-4 years, it actually started back in the 70s. The idea of love bombing started back in the 70s. And that's when the whole phrase was basically captured and it was coined back in the 70s. And what happened was that members of the Unification Church of the United States, and also the church called Family International, which were really considered, look, if y'all are Unitarian, I'm sorry. All right, you'll be okay. But in the 70s, it was used by them because it was a form of psychological and emotional manipulation, where they would go out and look for proselytes. They would look for people to join their church, and then they would shower them with gifts. They would make them feel as though they were welcome. They would make them feel as though they were at home until they got into the church and they realized, wow, what we're in. Now, I'm sure the church has changed quite a bit since then, but that was the origin of it. And we would give gifts, and you do this and you do that, and make people feel all warm and fuzzy and all welcome inside, and then boom, you're in a cult. All right, not saying the Unification Church is a cult. Not my business. I'm telling you how it worked. Okay, so that was the beginning of love bombing. And it has now evolved, especially since we had like this big social media push now. Anytime anybody is overly affectionate, we call it, oh, I'm being love bombed, especially if the relationship doesn't work out. Okay, now, what is love bombing? First of all, does anybody know? Does anyone out there know what love bombing is? I'm going to give you a chance to respond. Give you a chance to shout back at me. What do you think? Or have you been love bombed? Or have you even heard of the term? It's a very popular term. And if you have heard of it, let me know. If you have not, that's cool too. We're going to tell you what it is. But one thing that we find is that love bombing, it's been referred to as psychological abuse. And the whole idea behind it is whenever anyone gives you, get this, some of the characteristics. Excessive flattery and praise. Okay? Thank you, Kimberly. Now, Not 100% sure of the definition. Okay. Excessive flattery is when someone gives you excessive flattery or praise. When someone, number 2, over communicates their feelings for you. Number 3, they shower you with unneeded or out of the ordinary gifts. Number 4, they're locking into the relationship quickly and they're talking about your future. All right? Now, sounds like what people do when they're in love. I mean, I'm just saying, it sounds like the beginning of almost every relationship I've heard of, okay? Excessive flattery or praise. But remember, we said this at the beginning, it's all about intent. And I think that what we're seeing here with love bombing also is a certain amount of codependency, of a feeling of, I need to have you in my life. I got you in my life. I will not let you go. So all the over flattery, all the excessive praise. Oh, girl, you're so fine. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, look at you today. Oh, you look wonderful today. Oh, I just loved what you're wearing. But look, admittedly, that can probably get annoying after a while. I mean, am I right? Is it just me or am I right? That can probably get very annoying. But someone who is just constantly complimenting you. I mean, just at every turn they say and stuff, okay? Constant flattery to the point where it's uncomfortable, okay? And you realize that all of it ain't true. You know you look a mess, and they're complimenting you. And I think the other thing that exists in this is a lack of true honesty, okay? So with love bombing, also this over-communication of feelings, over-communication of how you are, of how you feel about somebody, you're always sharing. Well, let's take these bit by bit. First of all, giving you needless gifts, okay? Well, a love bomber might shower you with unexpected gifts for their affection. Hey, Nick, they will shower you with all these unexpected gifts. And the whole idea is that they're trying to buy your affection. Now, some years ago, before I was married, a lot of years ago, we're talking decades here, and I was love bombed by someone who I thought was trying to buy me. I was a single dad. They were trying to buy me, and they were trying to buy my kids' affection. Bought an Xbox, whatever. And there was this clinging thing that was happening. You're absolutely right, Guest Edwards. They were overwhelming you. And so it can be quite disturbing. Now, Duncan asked this question. How does someone differentiate between genuine affection and love bombing, especially when the intensity feels the same at first? Great question. Again, let's go back to it. How does someone differentiate between genuine affection, keyword, genuine affection, and love bombing? Now, mind you, everything is not love bombing. I cannot overemphasize this point. But how will genuine affection reveal itself? It reveals itself in honesty. It reveals itself, first of all, in a sincere connection where you know that the communication and the affection is reciprocal. There is no sense of control behind it. There's no sense of manipulation behind it. It's something that grows out of an organic relationship. It is not something that happens on the spur of the moment. Most love bombing situations is something happens from the first, boy, I'm going to send you gifts. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You don't even know me. And as someone said here, Guest Edwards, it lasts longer. You're absolutely right. Genuine affection comes out of an innate desire to please, an innate desire to love without any kind of reciprocal expectation. It's important. I'm not expecting you to be with me, and I don't feel bad if you do not return that kind of affection. I'm not going to trip about it. I'm not going to do something crazy. Okay? So understand that love bombing is almost close to being like a psychosis almost. Okay? So it's a kind of situation where you're on a first date, they're giving you flowers, and then call you next day and hold up, player. You don't know me like that. I mean, we just met. Okay? Okay, my wife asked the question, is it bad if a person likes to be love bombed? Okay. Is it bad if a person likes to be love bombed? Now, I need to explain to you what I know what you're saying because you like gifts. Okay. You like gifts. But again, it's about intent. It's about the desire to control. It's about the desire to it's about expecting something back. Are you expecting back what I'm giving you? Real love, real affection says, I want to give to you because I care for you and I protect you. And I will monitor your response. And I'm not going to cross any boundaries and make you feel uncomfortable. Real affection says, I will regard your boundaries. I will not go beyond what I feel is comfortable for you. Not just comfortable for me, because at its core, love bombing is selfish. At its core, love bombing is about me giving you stuff to control you for me. Yeah. And Nick, you're right. It's not just about financial gifts. It's not. Love, and we had mentioned that earlier, love bombing is about excessive flattery. It's about stuff that just doesn't quite make sense. And for someone who is desirous of flattery, or someone their love cup may be empty in that area, they will absorb that. They will eat it up, and they will fall into that layer of deception. It's really, really important for you to understand that. Because another characteristic of love bombing is that as a rush to lock things down. Again, genuine affection, going back to you, Duncan. Genuine affection says, I'm going to move at your pace as well as at my pace. I'm in no rush to lock this down. Love will wait. Love will wait. If I really care about you, you know what? Look, I'm not going to push. I'm just glad to be in your presence, girl. So we're just going to, let's just take our time and enjoy this. I want to enjoy the ride. Period. All right? You ain't got to see me every day. I'm not going to call you every hour on the hour. No, there has to be reciprocal respect, reciprocal love. Okay? But if it ever tilts and one person is giving in order to receive, then you veer over into love bombing. Okay? They're always in a rush to lock things down. Okay, here's a comment. So if a person is manipulated by being love bombed, how do they recover without looking like they were a willing participant and not a victim? Communication, great question. If you feel like someone is giving you gifts, someone is giving you flattery, just ridiculously, they're ready to lock things down. What you need to do, first of all, is understand and know your own boundaries and set them. Set your boundaries. Do not be afraid to say, hey, listen, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the fact that you are, you want to be around me, et cetera, et cetera. But these are my boundaries. Okay? Now, I will not go beyond them. I will not give in to them. Okay? My boundaries are here for a reason. Boundaries say that these are areas in my life that I do not want trespassed. I do not think that you should trespass on these areas without me giving you permission. So it requires some real communication and some real guts. Because if you feel like somebody's love bombing you, okay, you have to actually set those boundaries and say, you know what? I don't care if it feels good. My gut's telling me something's not right here. Doesn't feel right. Does not. Okay? Now, question here is, can a spouse love bomb their spouse? Babe, am I love bombing you? No. But can a spouse love bomb a spouse? In the truest sense of the word, it's very difficult, because if you've been with someone for any period of time, understand the intent here. The intent is to manipulate. Okay. And if you really, really know your partner, gifts are, for instance, my wife, if I just give you an unexpected gift, you're not going to consider that love bombing, because you know me and I know you. You're like, oh, what's this for? I was just thinking about you. I love you. And I have nothing to get. I'm not trying to gain you. I already have you. I'm not trying to control you and get you under my power. We're already in the same relationship. Yes to unexpected gifts. Okay. Hi, Dana. How are you? So understand that. So in a marriage, I don't think it's a matter of that. My husband would get gifts all the time, but he was a singer in Branson. Wow. I called them groupies, not love bombers. Okay, Kathy. Your husband would get gifts all the time, but he was a singer in Branson. Okay. The gifts that he was getting, I don't know his situation, but I don't know if those were actually love bombs. I think you're right. Those were groupies. But regardless of that, remember, now a love bomb, another thing for love bomb is that they can't take no for an answer. So here we get into the manipulation and the control. A lot of people who love bomb, they refuse to take no for an answer. And it's because, again, it's rooted in selfishness. And if I'm giving you something, then I want what I can get out of it. Okay? I want your attention, and don't tell me no. So when you see that kind of control, kind of slipping past your boundary, that kind of control, that kind of a need for your attention, that kind of, that kind of locking you down, boundaries, step away. Whatever it takes, step away, because that is a controlling person. Okay. Absolutely. Okay, great. And one of the last things I say here about love bombing, they like you better when you're alone. Okay, which means this: people who love bomb you don't want you to be around other people who can influence you. They prefer you to be alone. They prefer to have you all to themselves. Okay, they don't want you to have friends. They don't want you to have influence, people who influence you. And sometimes this can be very obvious, like they refuse to allow you to do certain activities or go to certain locations or spend time with other people without having them present. Okay? We're talking about people who are possessive, people who are selfish, and people who want you for their own purposes. And it has nothing to do with you being happy. It has to do with them being happy. So at the very lowest common denominator of love bombing, it's about a person who wants you for themselves. They want to control you. They want you to be in their world, and they're going to give you the compliments. They're going to give you the gifts, but they want you to be kept. Okay? I want you to understand this goes both ways. It goes male and female. They want you to be kept. Now, if you ain't got no problem being kept, you're like, hey, love bomb me, baby. If that's how you feeling, then that's on you. Okay, you dropped a bomb on me, baby. If that's how you feel, then you go for it. You want them to love bomb you, hey, okay. All right. However, understand that it seldom turns out in a healthy manner. Because when someone wants to control you to that manner, when someone wants to be in your world in that way, okay, yeah, just for Valentine's Day. If someone wants to control you in that manner, it's all about them. You will get the material things. You'll get the compliments, all that stuff, but you won't get the freedom to love them the way you want to love and to be loved the way you deserve to be loved. There will always be a string attached. Okay? All right. Is there any questions about love bombing? And I know we've covered a lot of it, but remember, as we talked about it earlier, love bombers are basically excessive flattery and praise. They're going to over-communicate their feelings for you. They're going to shower you with unneeded gifts and all these unwanted gifts sometimes, and they always want to lock you in and ensure your future together. Now, while on one hand that might sound like, hey, this is a guy who really loves me. Understand this: if you're not feeling the same way and you communicate that you want to take it slow, but this person is still coming, yes. It's about stalking. It's about wanting you for themselves. And it comes out of a person's insecurity, and it comes out of a person's ability to manipulate. And it comes at its core root of it is selfishness. All right? Yes, and you're right. Love bombers can become stalkers. Absolutely. So we want you to be careful out here in these streets. Is a person who does the exact opposite also a red flag? Okay, Edwards. is the person who does the exact opposite, also red flags. No gifts ever, because maybe occasional flattery. That's all. You're talking about somebody who might not. It was that book. He may not be that into you. All right. Never flattery. Never nothing. The question is then why you with this? This person ain't a love bomber. This person is an affection. He ain't bombing nothing. Okay. Then you turn into a Lifetime movie. Kimberly says yes. Okay, it's like a person who showers an already overweight person with a lot of food. Yes. Now, this is absolutely true. So they can be overweight or obese, but if the person starts losing weight, the feeder. Yeah, and I know this is not a funny comment because this is actually very real. It's very real. There are people who love bomb to keep that person for themselves. And this happens a lot with people who are struggling with weight. People who are struggling and their mates actually become enablers. They want to feed them. They want to make sure they stay there. They make sure they stay that way. Disregarding every health concern that they might have, they want to do that because they realize that person in that state needs them, and they want to stay there and keep feeding that person all those things that are unhealthy for them, so that they can have that person at any cost. That's not only love bombing, that's possession. All right, and that's something you must be careful about. And then you turn into a Lifetime movie, says Kimberly Thomas. And you know what happens in Lifetime movies? The husbands always die. Okay, no, I take that away. All right. Yeah, it comes with a lot of future faking, absolutely. Promising them a life that will never be, absolutely. And that's another part of it. Future faking, locking in, and trying to make sure that you're here for the long haul so that you can, so I'm going to promise. And sometimes I will not even perform, okay? All right. To have at any cost, that's the difference. Absolutely. Well, look, guys, our time is up. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a little bit more about love bombing. Okay. And I want you to notice the signs. Look, there's a reason that we do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're preparing you. I want to prepare you for healthy relationships in your current relationships, and also to be healthy as we start our matchmaking, which is going to start in the near future. I want you to be healthy. I want you to know the signs. I want you to know how to order yourself and how to recognize certain things, okay? Because we're sick and tired of just people having these unreal and unhealthy relationships. This app is dedicated to people who want real relationships. Someone said this season was too juicy. Oh, God, please, let's not even go there. The people who want real relationships, right? And I will say this, Kimberly, we plan none of that. That is a surprise to everybody. It's just, okay. But anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I always have so much fun, and it's so informative. You guys, your communication is awesome. Your contribution is welcome. On Tuesday night, please bring it again and bring somebody with you. We want this to grow. All right. Hey, Dana, what's up? God bless you guys. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday.